Hey, good morning. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are in the room early, thank you so much for being early, number one. And number two, my computer decided to update as soon as I turned it on this morning and said it was going to take a very long time. And then it started to shrink in terms of time, and then I was a little bit late. But we're still here today, and again, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for today. Today, we're going to be reviewing a couple websites today. We already have them in place, and I'm really excited. And Greg, if you happen to be here, I want to fulfill my promise from yesterday and review you first. So if you happen to be able to offer your URL in the chat, that'd be really amazing. And then we're going to review Kenny Walker afterwards. And we have that website already pulled up. And thank you to one of our moderators, K-Walk Comedy, for pointing me that direction too. Great to see you here. Thank you. Let's begin the show.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right. You guys only hearing voice? Let's see. What is up, everybody? Thanks again for being here today. Okay. Cool. No, we're good. Awesome. So again, really excited about this today because we're going to be reviewing a couple websites. We're going to end about 15 minutes early because there is a movie premiere happening right now. And it's really cool because yours truly happens to be in it. I'm not the star of it, not at all. I'm just a side character, if you will. But this is a real life story. This is not a fictional story. This is a nonfiction story called The Miracle Morning Movie. And it's about Hal Elrod, the author of The Miracle Morning. You can check that out and potentially sign up before the stream starts. It's going to be streaming worldwide. And again, I'm really, really excited about that. So really stoked because it's going to tell a great story. More than that, it's going to hopefully help you improve your habits and some things we can do personally to make 2021 the best year ever. And no matter what happens and what gets thrown at us, we can always have positive vibes going into something so that we can come out of it even better and help others along the way too. So again, thank you so much. And Greg, if you happen to be in the chat, I have yet to see your URL. I didn't have time because of the computer issues this morning to go and grab it from the sign-up form. And again, apologies that I'm not able to get to everybody's website today. With the movie review coming out, we're going to go quite quickly. So while I'm waiting for, Greg, your website to pop up, and if it happens to not come through, you can also send me a direct message or just a message in general on Twitter. I'll check that if you let me know that that's coming through that way too. But we're going to start with Kenny Walker's website. And before I get into that, I do want to share a few things that I'm going to be looking for that hopefully I can pass on to you so you can do your own audit for your own website and or YouTube channel, really. And the first thing I want you to pay attention to is just consider a brand new audience member. And oh, there we go, collegeflightplan.com. Got it. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. So we'll start with Greg, like I said, and then we'll go to Kenny. So I apologize about that. But collegeflightplan.com is where we'll go. And as I'm pulling that up, I want to talk about the things that I'll be looking for these website reviews and YouTube channels. So you can do them for yourself too. The most important thing to realize is that there's this thing called the curse of knowledge. And this was written about in a book called Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. And really what this is the idea that, well, when you know something or when you are something, it's really difficult to sort of put yourself in the shoes of somebody who doesn't know that thing or has not yet learned those things that you learn, right? The curse of knowledge. Knowledge is great. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is money. Knowledge is all these great things. But when it comes to sharing and helping others, it can be something that could work against us because we might not talk at the same level. We might not speak the same language. We might be so much ahead that we almost forget what it's like to start again. And so we need to be very careful about the message and the positioning and the language we use. I want to go to these websites and within the first 7 seconds, completely understand exactly what it's about, who it's for. More than that, I'd love to know exactly what makes this unique and different from others who potentially are out there. That can be not necessarily just in the tagline, but it can be on the website itself. I'm hoping to see some personality and something that's unique about you or the brand on the page. That's often called the USP or the unique selling proposition. I'm excited to see how we show proof that, yes, okay, you claim these things, or this is what this is about, but show me proof, right? And people are always looking for proof in many different kinds of ways. It could be anything from testimonials to proof that you've been published on other reputable websites, for example. That's a very common way of showing proof. And then, of course, just understanding the language that your target audience is thinking and processing, and the objections that they have in their head, and considering what those are, and being able to word them in a way that people can understand. I think it's very important. I want you to think about sort of the existential manner of who it is that's visiting your website, right? These are human beings, and we have to understand sort of what it is that they want, what it is that they're looking for, what their goals are. And the more that we can connect exactly with that, the more likely we are to, number one, have people stick around. Number two, dig deeper into our websites, our YouTube channel. Number three, subscribe, come back, become a fan, and potentially, transact with us in one way, shape, or form, whether that's subscribing to an email list or purchasing something down the road. Also, I'm going to look for distractions, and just know that everything I say here is going to be just from my own experience over the last 12 years of doing business online, the last year of doing purposeful reviews like this, and also just it comes from a place of service. I'm here to serve you first, and I don't want you to be offended if I say something that maybe you don't agree with. We can have a discussion about that, but B, just know that I'm here to help, and I want to be honest so that you can make improvements. And let me know in the chat if you have been reviewed here before and you've gotten value and you've actually implemented. And that's the final thing. I want to make sure that all these things, whether you are getting reviewed here or not, that the things that you learn, you do implement, because it's one thing to come on and learn. It's another thing to come on and learn and execute, and then learn from what is working now and make incremental improvements. And sometimes just that 1% improvement over time can really spur on some massive growth eventually. So what is USP? Unique selling proposition. Awesome, fantastic. So let's start with the first website here, which is, and I do want to give credit to Greg here. He had asked for this yesterday, and Kenny was suggested this morning. So those are the two we'll review. If there's any more time after that, we'll do it. We'll spend about 10 minutes each, and we'll see if there's room for any more. But this is the website here. This came on, I would say, a minute or two after, and that's much better, right? So typically when you visit a website, we don't want the experience like when you're walking into a store and there's purpose, or you are looking around and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and whacks you in the head with a promotion of some kind. It's like, hey, this isn't why I was here. Obviously, if the thing that you're promoting is relevant, that's better, but we want to give people time to look around, feel welcome, and understand exactly what we're about. Greg did that, and then the pop-up came up. This came up right before, although I had this on for a while, so I'm not going to be mad about that. I will say, let's review this really quick. Whenever it comes to pop-ups, we want to make sure that it's worth people's time to at least read this and pay attention. So college flight plan, create compelling essays with confidence, course overview. Get our free essay course overview now. Insert your first name, get instant access. So this is really nicely laid out. I love the colors. I love how easy it is to sort of understand. Images should always be used to support. And in this case, the image does support because these are college students walking through what looks like a college hallway. And that can allow me to connect a little bit further with whoever it is that's sharing this website. And this is, of course, Greg, but I, as a brand new visitor, won't know who's behind this yet. And we'll get to that in just a minute. I will say, though, create compelling essays with confidence course overview. This is not that compelling. A course overview almost is like a syllabus to me, in my opinion, and it's not as compelling. So chat, let me know what your thoughts on that word choice, course overview versus, it almost sounds like you're just telling me what something is about versus giving me something of value. I don't know if a course overview is value versus top 3 mistakes everybody makes with their essay, or the top number one thing essay graders, or whatever you call them, college admission people are looking for when it comes to your essay. Now, I need to know what that is. Do I need to know what your course overview or your course is about? Not yet, I just got here. But I would very much be compelled to learn about the things that are directly impactful to me as a future college student right now, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's making sense. Again, word choice is really key. You don't need to change anything here but the word choice, or if you have a better lead magnet that relates to a very, very compelling problem or pain or need that I have right now, then I think that would go much better. And even Sue here says, I agree with Pat. It almost sounds like a summary rather than a quick win, right? LOL, changed it to secret checklist this morning. Okay, well, there you go. I don't know, maybe the lead magnet changed, but not the pop-up. So thank you, Greg. You're already thinking about what I might say, and I love that. Okay, so homepage, again, pop-up was a sort of separate thing because it came up later, so I'm okay with that, and that's fine. But let's talk about this college flight plan. First of all, really digging the logo. As you can tell, it's more of like a graduation cap plus a, it almost looks like a paper airplane, as well as a north arrow. I don't know if you meant for that last one, but I really love that logo. I think it's very strong. College flight plan. It's not giant. It's not huge. It's readable, and it really does portray a lot of what this is about, right? But let's do some digging to see how much more we can connect. Again, I like the imagery here. I like the diversity. I like just the feel of it. That's great. Stand out to college admission officers. Essay coaching and online course to clarify values, strengths, and goals for an outstanding application. You deserve access to a life-changing college education, but there's a problem. So we're getting into a little bit of a sales page here, if you will, and this is beautifully designed, by the way. I do want to say that for sure. We'll get into some of the copy here in just a minute. Here is the essay checklist secrets. So I see this now. And again, the image will need to change a little bit where it says course overview, but other than that, I think essay checklist secrets. Discover exactly what college admissions are looking for in your essay and the things they don't teach you in school. Boom. Now I'm in, right? But stand out to college admissions officers. So that what? I think we have to just be blatant about exactly what a person who's here is looking for. Get into or increase your chances to get into the college that you want with essay coaching and online courses to help you clarify your values, strengths, and goals so that college admission officers will pick you over others or something like that, right? That's much more compelling. I think, in terms of like hit the nail on the head, this would be maybe a B minus, I would say. You're saying all the right things. These are words that make sense. So you're not beating around the bush, but in terms of hitting home for somebody, this sounds very Kaplan University, or just kind of generic. I'm just going to say it sounds a little generic. Stand out to college admission officers, essay coaching, and online course to clarify values, right? How might you rephrase that in a way where if you were literally talking to one of these students here, you might say, they might go, hey, what is college flight plan? Well, I want to help you stand out to college admission officers. Okay, right? Versus, and I love the way this looks. I love the way that this is bold. You put this black bar here. I mean, again, everything is set up here. We just need to nail the words, right? What do these people ultimately want? They want to get into college. This, I remember, was the most important thing in the world my junior year of high school. And the essay was just such a huge deal, right? So learn exactly what college admission officers are looking for so you can stand out and get into the college you want, right? So just a lot more clear, a lot more to the point, if that makes sense. I love this section here where you're getting into a little bit of the pain or the language that people can understand, these high school kids. You deserve access to a life-changing college education. I love that, but there's a problem. Now I'm interested. Now I'm like, what is the problem? I might know the problem. Nobody has given you a plan. You're not sure how to make your application get noticed, admission scandal. This is all great. This is a fantastic section. This is one of those parts of a website or YouTube channel when a person's watching or reading, they're like, yep, that's me. And the more that you can create language like that, the more likely a person is to go deeper and stick around, if that makes sense. So I really love that. You have social proof here. Like I said, these colleges, and this is likely where some of your students have actually gotten into, which is really amazing. And I think this is great. You don't need to say anything else about that. This is just known that, okay, now there's a little bit of proof there, if that makes sense. And I really love that. Tommy says, I smell dolphins. What? Cool. Coffee. Okay, my encouragement to parents. From the moment we welcome our children into the world, so this is Beth. This is perhaps your wife or somebody related to you. From the moment we first welcome our children into the world, we imagine what they will become and anticipate that bittersweet moment when they leave home. So this is to parents. So the other thing about this is like, okay, who is this speaking to? This is now I'm a little bit confused. Although I love the message to parents, it's like you've just hooked me as a student. You are talking to the student, right? You deserve access to a life-changing college education. But then I'm hooked and I go, my encouragement to parents. This entire section now means nothing to me as a student because you're calling out the parents, right? Either write this in a way that is for both parents and students, or have a section separate or a specific page specifically for parents, or try to at least have a moment where a person who is reading this, who is a student, who you did call out, right? Standout collegeman, to help you with your application, etc. Or maybe this is supposed to be for parents and not for kids, right? Your child, your student, your son and or daughter deserves access to a life-changing college education. GTO says, oh man, Pat Flynn, yes, I agree. So I caught that, and it was very obvious to me. Maybe not to you because it's just you're inside and it's hard to read the label when you're in the bottle, but that stood out to me very well. And also this picture, great picture, by the way, very good picture. Is this the picture that supports the message? If it was a picture of you or your wife, if this is your wife, with your kids at the college, then maybe that might make more sense either, or two, right? So although this is a very professional looking photo and it's beautiful, I think maybe it's not the right image for the message that we're trying to show here, right? Parents fly first class, kid coach. Create a compelling, and now it goes back to creating an essay. I would say that a section on the homepage can work to the parents if in fact parents are here. I would say maybe something up top that says for parents, so that if I'm a parent, I'm here. If I read this and I'm like, you deserve access to life-changing college education, I'm going to be like, okay, well, this is not for me, I'm out. But if there's a section that says, if you're a parent, click here, right? Then it might, scroll down and take me to this message, and then I can read as a parent and understand that, okay, this is a resource for my kid. And then you can show me resources on how to get together and how to use this website as a parent with my kid, right? So again, thinking about who this is for or who's visiting this webpage, you might consider who are your actual or ideal clients and building a page for them. You might be talking to the kids, but maybe it's the parent that you need to talk to. I'm honing in on this because this is very important. If we start targeting different people, they're going to respond to different languages. And if we're not very clear, then it's going to be hard for one of the two or more to, in fact, connect and realize that this is the resource for them, if that makes sense. Stephanie says, I can see having a message to parents since they're probably helping to pay for college and want to help their kid with essays somehow, but agree that it needs to be separate somewhere. Cool. The parents are our focus. Ah, okay. The parents are the focus. Then that's, wow. Okay. So then this language could potentially be, your child deserves access to life-changing college education. But there's a problem. You don't have a plan for your child. You're not sure how to get your kid's application to be noticed. Admission scandals have made the process even more competitive. You don't know what major fits your child's personality. Your high school counselor has too many other students to help. Individual coaching is expensive. Writing application essays seem overwhelming, and you and your kid don't know where to start, right? So that's very important. Otherwise, outside of that, College Flight Plan online course for students who want to go through a self-discovery process that will arm them with valuable. That's still fine. In this online course, your kid, the future college student will be guided through simple exercises and assessments designed. Okay, that's great. You will go from surviving to thriving as you are accepted into the college of your choice. I think language like get into the college of your choice can work for both. Like there could be language. It's a team, right? The child and the parents are a team, and they're kind of in this together, right? So there are moments like this where you are sharing an online course or do-it-yourself essay ebook, where you could potentially use language that would fit for both. You don't need necessarily a separate landing page for both. I think it's just the start of the journey with you, Greg, is the most important thing. I still think the lead magnet works. If I was a parent, I am a parent, my kids are going to college, they may choose to go to college and they're looking to apply. I'm going to be just as excited about helping them and giving them resources. Here's the feeling I want, Greg. I want parents to come here and go, I think I found exactly the resource I need to help my child get into college. I'm going to be the hero being here because I'm going to make it easy for my child to get through this. My worry as a parent is like, okay, like you're going to give me this information, but then it's going to be hard. Or I'm just going to go, hey son, like go to this webpage and do all the work there. But if I can see here that there is a person or a team here behind me that understands my sort of goals as a parent and my son's goals to get into college, and we can kind of all work together, then I think that could go a very long way, right? We know how busy you are, love it. So you're talking about the objections here. This is so clear to me. Simple access, simple results, simple guarantee. Using that language is key. This is what we want as parents. We want things to be simple, so I really love that. Simran Paul, I won't be able to get to your website today. I got one more website to review after this, and we're going to cut early because there is a movie premiere happening at the 8:45 a.m. Pacific mark, 11:45 a.m. Eastern for the Miracle Morning movie, which premieres, and I happen to be in it, which I'm really excited about. Confidence starts here. Get your essay checkbook. Awesome. Let's go to the About Us section here. There you are, Greg. Hey, Greg. Beth and Greg. Okay, cool. We all want our children to grow up and be well adjusted. If you had an image similar, but like your kid, not photoshopped, obviously, but again, this is sort of a college campus, which I really love. It looks very similar to a building in Berkeley, actually. Anyway, if there was a picture, again, this is a great picture. This works here, but it would be enhanced if you were with your kids and you were like, hey, we're parents too, and we completely understand what you're going through, right? So here, it's interesting because you are speaking to the parent, right? We all want our children to grow up and be well-adjusted with more than 20 years of one-on-one consulting experience, so you're sharing proof there. I love it. If your child is having trouble figuring out what their purpose is, we can absolutely help. Yes, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? So now the language is better. Now it's clear who you're speaking to and who the target audience is, right? As professionals, as parents, this is great. The About page is fantastic. This is like what we can do to support you with a little bit of proof, even some studies and things like that. Happy parents, so some testimonials. That's something literally I was about to look for. I would say testimonials would be great on the homepage. Again, other parents or kids could work, because I want to see other kids who are like, oh, this was actually a lot easier than I thought. Thanks so much, College Flight Plan. Or a parent saying, hey, my son actually got into the college. Thank you for the tips on the essay. That was really good. This is great. So I think it's just a consideration of who it is that you're speaking to is the most important thing. Thank you again, Sir Paul. So fantastic. And chat, thank you so much for your consideration to help out Greg and Beth here as well. Any final things, chat? Let's see. Get started. Let's go to get started. Essay coaching and editing, a lifeline for students trying to create compelling and memorable application essays. So it's interesting because it's like the essay thing is the first. So it's like if your superpower is helping with the essay, then that's not yet clear here. The only thing that I see here is just essay coaching here on the homepage versus it seems to be like that is your specialty, right? And we can hone in on that even sooner. So I do see this here, but see it says like essay coaching and editing, a lifeline for students trying to create compelling and memorable application essays. Great. That's great language for both parents and students. Find an editing package. So is this a separate thing than the College Flight Plan online course? Because right now my eye goes to the College Flight Plan online course, which is not about the essay. It may be about the essay, but it seems to be a little bit different. Versus if I were to click here, okay. Number one, when we have multiple packages, I want to know, like my eyes hurt trying to navigate this. It's neatly laid out, but what can help is a most popular or most common or, best value, right? Maybe package B is the one, because 3-hour editing, 5-hour editing, 10-hour editing. I'm not sure which one I should go to. I'm not sure necessarily how many hours I might need, if that makes sense, right? There's a lot of options here, a lot. And it's something where I need some guidance from you, Greg, if that makes sense. It wasn't obvious that this was a separate product to me. Find an editing package, maybe this, or not that, that's Kenny's website. We're going there in a sec. Maybe you have your most popular one. Maybe it's like package A, new client, new client, new client. I wouldn't call them clients either, right? That's another thing. I would call them students, right? Or something different. Client sounds too professional. Client sounds too, well, this is just a business trying to make money versus the connection, right? So I would look for a different word there. But again, I'm not sure which package to offer or which one you feel is most common, but I would include literally like the information about that package, the most common one, down below here, because that's why people are here and what your superpower seems to be, which is the essay coaching. Most common package or most popular package here, and then a link underneath that might say, click here to get access to other packages and offerings that may better suit your needs too. Also, check out some of our other offerings below too, if that makes sense. Cool. And then on this page, having testimonials, hopefully, because this is a buying page. So here's a testimonial, but I would love to see an image and something that relates to the content. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. Essay coaching and editing, but this seems to be what it is that's most important and something that I know as a parent would drive me nuts to help my kid figure out. So making it easier would go. Okay, so Greg, hopefully that's helpful. And again, I thank you so much for coming in and for being on the chopping block. And to you and Beth, thank you for what you're doing to help other students get into colleges, because sometimes the essay, I remember the essay was a struggle for me. I ended up writing about drum corps, which was sort of like taking my marching band nerdness and turning into something that became a lesson that could help me in life. And I got in to Berkeley and UCLA and went to Berkeley, of course. But anyway, awesome job. Thank you, Greg, for being here. And hopefully everybody enjoyed that. All right, let's move on to our second person of the day. Kenny, we're going to go for about 11 minutes here, and I'm going to do everything I can to help. Kenny K.P. Walker Jr., poetry is music in words, and music is poetry in sound. A beautiful sort of poetic tagline, but it doesn't tell me as a new viewer here exactly what I can get. And I do see that you have some information here, which I'm going to read in just a minute, but I will say that you need to have the one sentence, Kenny, that can help me go, whoa, this is exactly what I need, or exactly what I was looking for, or, oh, now I get what this is about. Poetry is music in words, and music is poetry in sound. Okay, but what does this do for me? I'm not saying that from a Pat Flynn perspective. I'm saying that from a brand new viewer perspective, right? So I want to know, what can Kenny K.P. Walker do here for the prospect, the viewer, the listener, the reader, etc. So let's read this. Spoken word artist. Hey everyone, I'm Kenny Walker Jr., and welcome to my site. This is the official place where you can follow all the things that I do, from spoken word to nerd stuff to, okay, so this seems to be similar to like Uncle Bill here, sort of like a variety type of space, but not a YouTube channel like Bill, but more of like just a website and a compendium of just things that interest you. But still, I would love for you to consider, okay, what is it that's your superpower within these nerdy things, within the spoken word, within music? What is it that really is something that encompasses you that would get me to just connect with you right away, right? And I don't know what that is. That's going to be very much a conversation that you're going to have with yourself and or others who know you to help understand what it is that your unique contribution is, that is your unique superpower. Join me, leave your email address, subscribe to my YouTube, download my... So this is very... Okay, to love what I do, it's going to be crazy, but it's going to be fun. So this is the only thing that gets me to go, oh, this might be cool. The fun part. Because, and I'm just being honest, it's like, this is very like, what's in it for you, right? So please join me, and you're asking for email address, which is for you. subscribe to my YouTube, download my content whenever you get music, hit the links to my social media. So this is very common. This is not your fault. This just is what we default to when we're talking about ourselves, right? But the trick is we need to talk about ourselves in a way that also shows that we're serving others first, right? So if you love to have fun, if you love music, if you are a nerd just like me, then drop your email address below so I can keep you informed for all the fun things that we're going to do together. So you see the difference there? I basically said the same thing, but I use the word you more. I do agree with Bill as well. This font seems to be a little bit small, and I think that you could benefit from removing the newsletter and contact me area from above here and blowing this out a little bit more, making it bigger text, and including an image. If it is indeed Kenny W.P. Walker Jr. who I'm connecting with, then it's just human nature to more easily connect with somebody who has a face. And online especially, it's very, very difficult to connect with a personality if you do not see that person. It's still possible, but in this competitive space, especially if this is more of a variety type thing, I think it's very, very important for us to consider putting our face on there to make that happen. So we're going to go for about 6-7 more minutes here. But yeah, so again, what's in it for the person on the other end? That's very important, right? The font is bigger on my screen when going to the site than through YouTube's view on Pat's screen. Am I at full size? I am at full size. So again, something to consider. You want to default to bigger fonts online because of people's high resolution things right now that they're using. But let's scroll down here. Music album previews, podcast, open mic night, articles. I would love some info about these things. Like, what is music album previews? Maybe a little bit of text within this box that just kind of gives me an understanding of, okay, well, what is that exactly? What is open mic night? What are these articles about, right? KWJ Store, awesome. You have some merch. You're faster than I am. Reverb Nation. I need a little bit of explanation on what these things are and what they can do for me. Because it's variety, I need to know more info about the variety of things that you have so that I can go, oh, well, that's the thing. That's the cool thing and the benefit of having like a variety type thing. It could just be that one thing that you do or that you talk about that hooks me in. There might be other things, but you have more chances to hook me in because you have more variety, if that makes sense. But at the same time, if I don't explain what all of these things are, it just looks like a wall of things, and I'm a little bit confused on where to go. So I need a little bit more explanation with relation to who it is that you're saying you are and what you can do for me within each of these different categories. But let's check out the spoken word music. You'd mentioned that in your tagline. The website is designed really well. It's very clean, and this sort of parallaxing effect is nice. It's not, super loud. It's not like fortissimo. It's just like a nice, moderate, mezzo piano, if you will. Doing some musical terms here since I'm on a music website. The idea was to have people click on the sites, yes, but people won't click until there's a reason. We're sort of banking on the idea that people are already going to be that interested that they're going to like just explore. The exploration happens if they visit your website, they're not interested, they're going to explore something else. Unless you have built a relationship elsewhere already, then it's very unlikely that a person's going to take the time to explore when there's not a reason to explore. It is when they know you already that they're going to search around because they're looking for something that is based on a previous experience that they've had with you, right? So because a homepage is oftentimes the first impression, if you will, we need to do the work for people so that they don't have to think, right? You might even drop in the homepage, for example, some sort of hierarchy of where people should start. Right? This is why I always talk about having a start here page so that people can understand where to begin, or if like, hey, if you're into music like me, start here. If you're a podcast listener like me, come here to listen to me chat about some of my favorite podcasts. If you're daring with your spoken word and don't mind sharing live in front of people, then open mic night would be for you, right? So just kind of a list with some explanation around that too. Kenny says, this is great feedback. Awesome. This is why I'm here. And hopefully this is helpful for all of you too. So let's go to what's good positivity. Oh, cool. There you are. Dude, this image is awesome. I don't know you yet, but this image with the hands up and your friendly face, this image should be like at the top of your homepage. like Kenny KP Walker Jr. And here I am, and here's what I'm about. You have this unique style to you. It's interesting that What's Good Positivity, I love that it opened on a new page. That's good. But this is your Facebook group. And that can be very confusing to go from a navigation menu where I expected to stay on your website to then outside of your website, versus if you down here said, join me in Facebook and let's chat and connect, right? Cool, I click on it. I'm expecting to go here. This is really cool. See, you're not afraid to put your face on. Let's bring that image here on the website. I love that. Super dope image. See, this website looks generic without it. Anybody can create this website, but you are the only KP Walker Jr. in the house. You're the only Kenny Walker Jr. that exists. So let's show that. Let's bring you on there. Nerd Nation podcast. So another Facebook thing. So a lot of Facebook stuff. It's interesting that you're bringing people to Facebook. I would say that, let's go to view more. These are the things that need to be on the homepage or on the navigation menu. And from there, I would love to see, now that I'm here to click on a podcast, like where's the play button? Where can I click to play? You're making me go you're providing a lot of friction here for me to do that. So again, let's just make it simple as possible. But here, I clicked on podcast. I see Nerd Nation podcast. Give me a preview. Don't make me click. Let's hear about the Nerd Nation podcast. What is this one in particular about? What is the Kathy Kenny Explain Pop Culture one about? And what are some interesting tidbits or even previews that I can click on before I go in? And then, of course, if I go into this, it'll take me here, coming soon. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. How about this one? Maybe. Okay, so this takes me to YouTube. Cool. There's K-Walk. Awesome. So the best exercise I would recommend to you, Kenny, is number one, consider the brand new viewer and don't expect that they know anything about you or what this website's about. We need to do that explanation for them, if that makes sense. So I think there's so much of you that is fighting to come out on this homepage, and just try to keep it simple. What are the favorite things that you do that you can share, and make it easy for me to find those things? I have to search around and find, and it takes me many, many clicks to then get into a podcast or finally go to the YouTube channels that you want me to, versus just having it up there for me to get the full immersion of who Kenny Jr. is. So thank you for that, and I hope that's okay. Good stuff though. Good start. And it's always hard in the beginning for sure, but I think that over time we can continually improve, and hopefully this makes sense. So well done. Thank you. So we're going to stop now because there is a movie that's about to play. So I'm even going to skip the intro music to close this out, or the outro music. We have the Miracle Morning movie. I'm going to be watching it here with my family at my house. I'm not going to be online at the same time, so I could fully get into that. And that starts in about 15 minutes. And thank you again. I appreciate you guys. So again, we started early today and we're ending early because there's the movie premiere happening right now, 12/12/20 at 12 p.m. Pacific. And you're welcome, Kenny. Thank you. And thank you, Greg and Beth as well from collegeflightplan.com. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be at the regular time, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much. Drop a like before you go and enjoy the movie. Thank you. Miracle Morning movie. Go find it. Pat VIP at checkout if you haven't gotten your ticket yet. And have fun. Bye, guys. Take care.